What's good everyone, it's Smudger here, and as you can see we are back on Raven Software's website because a patch has just gone live for Warzone, and from what I've seen from their tweet, it contains some changes which could change the meta a bit, so we'll jump in and see what happens. So loot that spawns across Verdansk and Rebirth Island has been adjusted, the Streetsweeper has been removed, the Hauer has been added, presumably to counterbalance that Streetsweeper removal, but that's fine. The Hauer's far easier to deal with, like kind of off the rip, than a Streetsweeper. The Streetsweeper's wide availability fostered a dynamic where passive play was incentivized and rewarded. We do not think this type of play is particularly compelling for either party, and players do not have the necessary tools in the early game to effectively counter it. So they have, dealt with it, they have got rid of it, so fair play to them there. They've fixed additional map locations that allowed players to reach out-of-bounds areas. This is on top of the locations that was addressed last week, because I know a couple of other stadium and train spots got found. Fixed a bug causing player models to initially load as low resolution at the start of a match and they look like cardboard cutouts. Fixed a bug with the Cold War AK-47, the Pharah, the XM4 and the RPD, where they were having their ADS move speed and firing speeds decreased, with the tactical and SAS and Spetsnaz stocks rather than increased. That's gonna be interesting. We'll have to see how that one pans out. We'd like to preface the following weapon changes by providing you with some insight on our thought process. There's millions of you. When we reduce the effectiveness of a weapon, we are bound to make a change to someone's favourite gun. As players of this game ourselves, it pains us just as much. However, we remain torn. We are the custodians of the game. In the same light, we are charged with maintaining the health and integrity of the game. In some instances, that requires changes. When we make a change like this, our intent is to promotion of diversity. This can happen when a weapon becomes so effective that it's simply not utilised and it puts you at a disadvantage. With that being said, we feel we are close to a balanced homeostasis, I wouldn't disagree with that, where most options are viable at the very least. Leaves us address time to kill. The following balance changes are part of our ongoing efforts to raise TTK, or at least the individual skill required to reach extreme ones. We ask that you consider these changes not as targeted attacks, but rather as a larger incentive to raise the skill ceiling. We want to give you the runway and the platform to show us your epic plays and proudest moments. We hope that journey of mastery brings you as much enjoyment as it does us. And here are the guns that seem to have received a little bit of a tweak. So the Amax has had its minimum damage decreased, and they've given a reasoning as well. This change reduces its fastest minimum TTK by about 17%, in addition to its slowest minimum damage TTK by an additional shot. Its fastest maximum damage TTK, however, remains intact, which is a risk we feel is equal to the reward considering how unforgiving its rate of fire is and how many other weapons it has to contest within the mid-range engagement space. It's a tad more dominant than they would like. So what they're hoping what they've done to the Amax essentially is nerfed it just enough that those higher skilled players that can control the recoil very, very well and get those headshots will still be able to use it to the best of their advantage, but it means that anyone that's struggling to control the recoil, that was still getting off rapid TTKs, can no longer do so, and they're going to have to look for other options. It's rewarding skillful players by keeping that damage profile up towards the higher skill area, and kind of encouraging you to get better is what they're trying to go for. The Pharah, the headshot multiplier, has been decreased because that was wild, and the base ADS move speed has also been decreased because that was also wild. The Pharah was like one of the best guns since Season 3 dropped. Like, its movement was ridiculous. Same with the Streetsweeper, they have nerfed it, base hip spread increased, recoil increased, ADS speed reduced slightly. The Streetsweeper will continue to be a problem until people realise that it isn't viable if they have done enough nerfs to it. Obviously these are just patch notes, and if you are a Bullfrog user, I am sorry, they have nerfed it. The maximum damage has been decreased, the maximum damage range has been increased, the base move speed increased, and the sprint out speed increase. So I guess what it's essentially done there is they've tried to increase TTK without kind of completely nerfing it outright. It definitely feels more so like they've given it other perks whilst also reducing the damage. It'll be interesting to see how that does actually fare within Verdansk. The PPSH was a bit disappointing, I guess you could say, when it dropped within Warzone. and so they've kind of increased the damage range and open bolt delay decreased by 80%. So at least they're trying to make everything as balanced as possible. I will give them that. Over the past kind of like 2-3 weeks, they've definitely been better at that. Now they have some attachments as well. We have the combat recon for the snipers, the bullet velocity multiplier has been increased by 12%, and idle sway multiplier decreased. So, oh, hang on a sec, I've just read this. As we continue to assess the place of Cold War snipers within Warzone, we realise there's much work to be done. In addition to improving the overall, should that be efficiency? Or is that just a word I'm not smart enough to understand? Oh. Who knew? We learned something new. Of these weapons and attachments, we will also be taking a close look at their optics. This includes addressing attachment pros where there are few, if any, use cases. In specific, we may see a Cold War equivalent to an immensely popular Modern Warfare sniper attachment very soon. Interesting. The optic behaviour for the Cold War AK-47 has been improved. That had some visual bugs that I really didn't like. The Raider KGB skeletal stock, the firing speed and move speed multipliers have both been decreased. That firing speed one's gone massively, and that's what caused a lot of the weird strafey movement you saw on like things like the XM4, and you were just like zooming about the place. Raider KGB skeletal stock for subs has also been decreased, although by a bit little, still a hefty old decrease. SAS combat Spetsnaz for assault rifles, LMG, shotgun snipers have also been decreased. Same for submachine guns, and tactical stocks have also been decreased movement speed all around, and ADS movement speed. So that's probably the big one to take away from here, is that if you've been enjoying that slick movement you get with a lot of the Cold War ARs recently, it looks like they've done their best to really kind of nerf that, because to be fair, the way people zoomed about there, that was excessive, I have to say. I still want the guns to be good, like that'd be nice if they were still viable. It means you can switch up your gameplay pretty easily, but god, they zoomed about. What date are we on? I don't know why I thought we were still in April, and that is where the end of it is. Finally, we would like to address concerns that we are only going to be making changes to Cold War weapons. In the future, we fully intend on taking a closer look at some of the Modern Warfare weapons that have been struggling. As always, please continue to share your feedback, we're always listening. And it definitely feels like they are, which is nice. They've really, done what the community's asked them to do on a lot of this. They took the Streetsweeper out, they've made some changes to the ARs without it seemingly seems to be like nerfing them. Even the Bullfrog that they have nerfed in the definition, I guess you could say, it does look like they've tried to counteract that with some different changes. So this could be an exciting time for Warzone. We could see it in a really healthy place, which is really cool to see. As always, if my comments are turned on for this video, as you know I've been having issues, do let me know in the comments. Otherwise, drop a like, subscribe if you are new here and you want to find your way back. Hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.